We interviewed Dr. Sanjay Saxena, author of Startup Management. Sanjay Saxena, PhD in Business Administration, is professor and chairperson of the Center for Digital Learning at the School of Management Sciences, Varanasi. With 33 years of global experience in corporate and academia, Dr. Saxena has delivered over 300 technical sessions.
So, Dr. Saxena, what inspired you to write Startup Management?
Okay. In fact, you asked two questions in that initially. That is what inspired me to write this book and what is the gap in the entrepreneurial ecosystem.
Yes.
So, in fact, I am a regular researcher in the geoeconomics and geopolitics also. And what I found in this current geoeconomic scenario, that the global wealth is shifting from global north to global south. And especially the countries like China, India, Malaysia, Thailand, South Africa, Brazil, these south side of countries are in fact now getting chance to cater the world in terms of innovative products and the technologies.
Yes.
So, and the new world order is changing very fast.
Okay.
Because all the aspirants of startups, they must know that new world order would be multipolar, where no single country would be leading. There would be equal participation of different countries, and there would be multi-currency basket. So no international trading would take place in single reserve currency like dollar or bonds. So there would be a basket of multiple currencies, and the countries will have their currency into that basket. For example, rupee, ruble, dirham, real, dollar, euro, like that. So the countries, now the valuation of currency will be decided not on the basis of trading, but on the basis of your GDP, the country's GDP production, then the deposits of rare earth elements, then the gold reserves, and your capacity to cater the market with innovative technologies and products. So what you have really to offer to the world will decide the valuation of your currency. So in this new world order, it is very important for India, because India has opportunity. It's a land of opportunity now. Why it is so? Because if you see US, especially the white Americans and the black Americans, the US have destroyed their mentality by giving them a lot of freebies and extraordinarily high salaries. Because of that, they do not want to exert. They do not want to really go for hard studies and hard science. They want to go for softer sides like art and culture and so on. And that is why their population is not able to really come out with some innovative technologies and other things.
Okay. And
if you see the Europe and China and Russia, these and Britain even, their population has become very old now, because China's population also has become very old because they had a one couple, one child policy.
Yes.
And also Europe has grown old, even Japan has grown old. So they do not have youngsters, ample number of youngsters who can really go for their startups and give innovative technologies to the world.
As we know, India is the third largest startup ecosystem globally after US and China. So we can really see that globalization has really helped India. I have a question for you, Dr. Saxena. So I think that many people ask that India's population, India has a youthful population, and that's a very big advantage to us. Do you think so? I mean, of course, we have youngsters who will who will become educated, they will study, and eventually they will start their own ventures. But is it really so? Is most of India's youth, we aren't being able to educate our youthful population? So,
okay, I understand your question. In fact, yes, why India is the land of opportunity now? Because we have a very young population, huge number, and equally with high potential. So our population is high potential, and they actually have learned to do hard work. So our youth is working very hard to come up and put their mark on this universe. So that is why it is very important to teach our youth. But how can we utilize this latest new world order? So to utilize that, actually, we can't utilize with job mindset. So initially, like last 200 years, because of British colonial system and the classroom teaching system, our youth is more inclined towards the job. Finish your studies and go for a job. And that is why we can't really exploit the opportunity. The global market is empty now. Nobody is there to throw the products, new products, innovative solutions and innovative technologies. India can do that, but they can't without a startup economy.
So India's demographic dividend is good for a startup economy?
Definitely it is good because you have a human resource to work in the manufacturing, human resource to work in research and development, human resource to work and to produce various goods. And that is why multinational companies are coming to India for producing goods, because we have younger population to work and skilled folks. But we should not rely on only on multinational companies. We should have our own indigenous products. That's what is a gap in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Because if you see the top companies of India, they still rely on Western products, Western technologies, and they do business using that in India and they earn profit. But this is not going to happen. But they will put very little focus on their own indigenous development, product development, and they put little money on research and development so that they can develop the innovative technologies. But now they should learn that they have to put their resources and develop their own products, and then only you can put a dent on global market, and then you can throw your own products, because you can't just rely on multinational to come and produce here.
Of course. Indian economy is definitely growing at a very rapid pace. So India, there is a huge opportunity for startups in India, and I definitely feel that young people could read your book, Startup Management, and benefit a lot from it. From a quick Google search, I found that the Indian government is very supportive of startups in India, but I don't have much knowledge on this topic.
Yes, there are various support systems given by government, because they are providing easy loan to startups. I have gone through, there are a lot of incubation centers in IITs. That centers are actually evaluating your products, and if your product is marketable and innovative and it has a business opportunity, they fund you. And they fund not only you in very small amount, they fund you up to 50 lakhs, even again crores, to start your business, and they incubate you also for starting up successfully. So these incubation centers in IITs, and then easy loan to startup owners, and then 3 years relaxation in your income tax and corporate tax. These are all facilities are given by the government. But we shouldn't rely only on government, because there are various sources. The money is not a problem in India. There are a lot of venture capitalists now available. A lot of rich people are available looking for some innovative products. So if you have that, if you have a real business proposal, there are people who will fund you and who will help you to start your business. So you don't need to worry about the funds. You have to worry about the real problem, real solution in the form of new technology and new products. And then people are there to help you other than government facilities.
Okay, is this what inspired you to transition from corporate roles to entrepreneurship education?
In fact, I have an element of theater in me, and I love taking classes, and my classes are very artistic in some form. So teaching became my passion. So when I started giving lectures during my corporate days, I thought that I should go to some institution and start giving my lecture to students and start working on their mindset. So that is why I shifted to this part in academics, and after that I've written so many books and so many things, and conducted a lot of workshops. As you mentioned, more than 300 workshops already I have conducted.
So really, I can feel that you are an expert on the topic of startups. However, for the book's examples, did you interview startup founders, use case studies, or draw from your own consultancy? We can see that there are a lot of real examples in your book. So I'm curious to know what inspired you to write these examples. Are they real examples?
Yes, they are all real examples, and I think today you don't need to waste your time for arranging the meeting from successful startup founders and go for interview them, because on the online there are dedicated YouTubers who are doing this job. They are regularly conducting interviews, real-time interviews with startup founders, and there are hundreds and hundreds of videos available. So what I did some secondary research. I went through all those interview videos from startups and took notes that what they have suggested, what problem they have faced, and how they made their startup successful. And also I collected the data from published case studies in the magazines, newspaper, and world-renowned journals. And I took notes from those case studies also, and then I wrote all those examples, real-time examples, in my book. Also, my own consultancy and corporate experience helped me a lot to add some chapters, because I have 7 years of working experience in Goodless Narolac paints right now, and paint industry is a very distribution intensive industry. So as far as the distribution management is concerned, managing the dealers and retailers are concerned in D class or E class town even, I have a very ground level experience. So I utilize all those experience to write that chapter.
So your book promises practical solutions to startup challenges. Can you share your favorite real world example from the book?
Yeah, a lot of examples are there, but my favorite is the case of Navier. Navier is a company which is a maritime company, and it is founded by Indian woman, Miss Sampriti Bhattacharya. And it was founded in US, but it was founded by Indian women. And this company is manufacturing N30 electric hydrofoil boat, which is running just above the water surface, and on the water surface, just above the water surface. And in the case, I have mentioned that how Sampriti found the problems, the real core problems of commercial water transport, and then how she developed the technological solution in the form of N30 hydrofoil boat, which is actually reducing the cost of running from $4 to 38 cents per nautical. I mentioned that how she developed this kind of concept and how she started arrange the finance and started the manufacturing and then the marketing. Today, she has the full orders are full up to 2026 year, means year 2026, and they are not able to take more orders because they are already full and highly successful. She told that doing hard things or solving hard problems are always putting a dent on universe. So it's very good. It's challenging, but it's really give you a lot of good feeling.
Of course,
and she also mentioned that if it is not against the laws of physics and economics, you can build a ladder to the moon.
So, what is the biggest mindset shift you hope your students can take away from the book? I mean, of course, you want to encourage them to be innovative startup founders, but what else are you encouraging them to be?
Okay, that's a very good question, because mindset change is very important. And it's not only about business students. It's all about all these students. Actually, currently, they have a job mindset. So the students studying in engineering or agriculture or economics or business or arts and social science, they all are trying to finish their education and go for certain jobs. But if they will read this book, they would understand that starting at the early age is very important. And if you start business or innovate and put your mind and put your efforts, so then your startup will be successful, and you can't imagine the kind of wealth you will acquire in this particular time. So I think this book will definitely encourage them to go for startups.
You are the chairperson of the Center of Digital Learning at the School of Management Sciences, Varanasi. So, so from your position as a chairperson, how do you see today's students approaching entrepreneurship?
Okay, there's this very important thing, because the current students, there is not much a difference from decade earlier students. The current students, they are more informed about the geo-economic trends and geopolitics and the opportunities available and the government schemes and so on. They are more informed, but the mindset is same, because they all want to have an easy option, like go for job after completing education. Even MBA students, instead of working as business professional, they go for PhD programs and go for teaching, majority of them. But they are even engineers, they go for MBA and end up working in banks and financial markets. They are living core engineering jobs. So that is a problem in the mindset. But they should understand that the core engineering, golden era of engineering jobs are coming back to India. And if they go for startups and they work as a core engineer, definitely they can earn more.
Okay, that's interesting. So, you cite that over 1.3 million jobs have already been created by startups. What do you see as the biggest opportunity for India's youth in the next 5 years? Because as we know, India is one of the leading startup hubs globally.
Okay. The answer to this question is very tricky, because it is also again coming from geopolitics and other political sectors. As you must be hearing about Trump's decision of cutting the H-1B visa for Indian students. And also in America, the jobs are reducing very fast. Already thousands and thousands people, they have lost their jobs in the way of increasing the efficiency, because they are in a huge debt. So therefore, what will happen that Indian brains, which are actually going to US and completing their higher education and taking jobs, that option is becoming lesser and lesser. So the attrition will not be there. And another thing, they must understand that Indian government is putting a lot of efforts and rapidly developing the supportive infrastructure. For example, seaports, airports, dedicated freight corridors, highways, and so on. So ultimately, if this brain is not going abroad, and even if they get a job abroad, they will not earn much. If they start their own business, they will earn, I can assure you, they can earn 10 times or 20 times higher than what they can earn in USA and other places. So that thing will encourage them. And I'm sure in next coming decade, billions of startups will come to India from our own Indian youth, and millions of jobs. And one new trend will come. The private jobs will give more salary, security and benefits than the government jobs. Already it has started. If you see the Bennett University or the Booland University or the Jindal University or the Vauxhall University, they are paying much higher salary than the central government universities. Ultimately, why people are running towards university? Because they want security and higher pay jobs. But now the startups will pay you more. So that is why I think scenario is very wonderful, and millions of startups will come, and that will become the backbone of Indian economy.
Okay. So why do many startups in our country fail despite achieving early success? Could you share some examples to help young entrepreneurs avoid repeating these mistakes?
Yes, this is a very important question. The answer is not in one or two lines. Initially, you must understand that any startup, the two things are very foundational. Means identifying the problem, because whatever you see on the surface are just the symptoms. You have to dig deeper and find out what are the exact problems of our consumer. And then once you find the problem, and then if you develop innovative solution, the best solution for that, your business is ready. You are ready for business. So many startups did that correctly.
Okay.
But there are other factors which are also important for running the startup for longer time. Those factors are such as scalability. Means your business model must be scalable. And if you adopt a model which are not scalable, that you will not survive. Another important factors are poor strategies and poor integrated marketing communication, and then poor financial management, and then poor customer services. This all leads to failure of startup. Another important thing is world is changing very fast. Environment is changing very fast. So companies, they should have a capability to change their course of action or pivot their course of action in response to changing environment. But if they do not have, they will fail. So various startups and some companies, they focus more on company valuation and more on capturing the market share. And they would do their business on no profit and lesser than in loss even. So what is happening is, when their focus is not on profitability and they run their business on loss, what happened? They become they get cash crunch. They go out of cash, and then they find problems to run their business. A very good example of this is Ola. They started well, Bajus, they started well, but then their focus shifted to just on valuation, and they started running their business on loss, and that is why they failed. But still now they are coming out and they are doing a lot of changes in their system, and hopefully they will bounce back again.
I have one final question, and it's about startups in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So startup activity is no longer limited to metros. Cities like Ahmedabad, Jaipur, Indore are beginning to emerge as hubs of startups. So what kind of startups do you believe will thrive in India's tier 2 and tier 3 cities?
Okay. In fact, you should divide this into four, I feel. Tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. And if you see the population there in these cities, tier 2 is already, government is developing a lot of supportive infrastructure. So it is almost coming parallel to tier 1 cities. And I think in coming days, tier 1 and tier 2 would be more like a hub of fintech and high-tech manufacturing industries. And for example, Gift City in Gujarat. So that is becoming a hub of finance and hub of fintech industries. So ultimately, tier 1 and tier 2 will go for that. But tier 3 and tier 4 still, they are very close to agricultural India. And their human resources, they are close to agricultural products. So I think they will get success if they will go for starting up their business in the field of biotech, agri-tech, agricultural, agri-business, and circular startups. So if they will go for that, they will get huge success in tier 3 and tier 4.